My name is Monette, and this is my channel, Evolve with Monette. I have a quick channeling for you. I just finished working with a client, and I always want to share what I'm getting. And Bessie's texting. It's time for morning coffee, so I'm gonna do this really quickly. But don't let outsiders determine the trajectory of your love. We all have relationships and we will run things by our besties, our persons, our people, and whatever the case may be. When you are falling for somebody or you have an established and solid relationship with somebody, it is imperative that you allow that to stay between the two of you, just the two of us. That's what I put the location as for a reason. And the reason that I did that is because it's so important. Because what will happen is people will come in with all of their opinions, not understanding exactly what's supposed to be happening between you two. They don't get the message, the assignment, they don't know things the way that you do, and they will give you advice from their perspective. And if they're not healthy, and if it's warped, and if it's tainted in any way, they will definitely destroy what is burgeoning and growing. And there is still something to be said for anchoring yourself in someone who knows you and loves you and cares for you. In my case specifically, I was assigned a bestie who was given spiritual messages about protecting me from the Ricky Bobbies, and that came in years ago. So it came in handy when I had new connections come in my life where Bessie wasn't throwing herself in front of the train to stop new connections and new soulmated interactions. She was ridiculously, amazingly encouraging, but I watched her take her job bloody seriously. And what I mean by that, good morning in Langton with Gilly. Hey, Gilly, long time no see, honey. How are you doing? Um, what I mean by that um, regarding her taking her job seriously is that she didn't bludgeon me over the head with what the assignment was that she was given to be protective of me. In my life, that's not something that I have been given. It's something that I did for myself. It's something that I overcompensated for in certain ways. It's something that I physically overcompensated for. I'm talking about my weight, so my sweet empaths here, y'all know that's a thing we do. And I was like, well, no one's going to protect me, so I'm going to protect me. And when Bessie came into my life, she says, no, I've got you. I've got you in a real and lasting way. You know, I've got you in a real and lasting way, and I'm not going to let anybody come in and hurt you. And I'm here on assignment to definitely protect you. And it was a joke because I love the movie Talladega Nights, but Ricky Bobby's. I kind of described some of the past horrid people in my life as degenerates and dilapidated and whatever. And she was like, where you're going in life, even though we don't know where that is, right? We want you to be protected. Now, one of the things that I am tasked with in this life is new soulmate connections. Because I teach about love, it means that I traffic in love. It means that new friendships, new connections, new things that are juicy and yummy and magical come to me all the time, and I have to vet them, and I have to make sure it's right, and I have to make sure I don't get swept away. And normally, I'm really good at assessing that on my own. God's definitely tested my intuition, but having someone manage that with you sometimes too is good. But there is also a certain point where that can't always be. Does that make sense, guys? So I have seen so many relationships literally implode from the inside out because someone let in a very unhealthy bestie. Fortunately, that's not my case, but definitely I've seen it happen where someone that they trusted, someone that was lying to their face, someone that was disgusted or even maybe jealous of the relationship that they had. And jealousy masks itself, it masquerades. You don't always know that someone is carrying and harboring that in their heart, that they don't feel happy for you because you're really getting your heart's desire and someone really loves you. Sometimes people want to isolate you away from that. So you have to be so careful. And sometimes there are people that are devils that are trying to snack you, and you got to be careful of that too. So there is no easy answer here when you have a new relationship and you feel called and you feel all the magical things that happen in new relationships, and you're like, oh my gosh, what does this mean? And is this for me? And is this really my situation? And all the rest of it. You have to learn to have your own discernment. Now, when I say that you get a bestie that helps you, sure. If there are any overreaching things going on as I go forward in my career, period, I know that my bestie is there. She has literally shown it to me in ways that like the word I had to use recently was I am gobsmacked by her loyalty and fidelity and care for me. And not because I haven't been that for other people, but it's because I'm like, oh my gosh, this is a person that's going to do this for me. This is so incredible. But that doesn't mean that I'm not vetting whatever my connections are. And the beautiful thing is, I'm fortunate because she's so supportive of whatever I vet and whatever I do. Here's the thing that I want you to take away from this today: don't let everybody get in your relationship. Not everybody is that bestie. Does that make sense? She is definitely a rarity. Um, and not everybody, and even if she had any issues in her own personal space and head, she's so mature that she maintains them. Not everybody will. They'll let that bleed over into your thing. Meaning, like, let's say Bestie looks at something and says, run, 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 run from the devil, girlfriend, right? But she's going to be measured, because a good bestie, a good friend, a good anybody in your life that is a buffer or someone that you can bounce things off of, is going to manage their emotions and prioritize yours. Because if you're coming to them, or if they're noticing you go through a new thing, it's not about them. And a healthy person will do that. Someone that's not healthy will make it all about them and push you into whatever. And if you're weak, you could buckle. Now, I know people watching this here aren't weak. That's not my collective. But what I will tell you is there are people out there that are. And I've watched it. If it's supposed to be you and whoever against the world, then that's what it should be. I think that Bonnie and Clyde has a great deal of toxicity. I'm not a fan, and it's kind of a red flag for me when anybody mentions Bonnie and Clyde. But what I will tell you is we have outmoded and outdated things that are in our hearts and in our energies about relationships. You guys have seen some of my videos about reviewing Sade's work and how it was kind of entrenched in brainwashing us into toxicity, like no ordinary love. Something that I thought, a song I would never not resonate with as sexy, when it's so incredibly toxic. Check out the video. Maybe I'll put it in my community page if I remember later. But this is no ordinary love. It's about I keep trying for you. It's about unrequited love, guys. And she made it sexy because Sade's a Capricorn. And that is representative of the devil. Not evil, but attraction, lust, desire, power, passion, secrecy. Yeah? Capricorn energy in lower or higher vibration is all those things. And then staying tethered to someone eternally because it's an earth sign. What's coming to mind right now is somebody already broke my heart. That's when you have new love, new energies, new soulmates to vet. And you think, oh gosh, I don't want them to ever forget or ever not know that I've already been down this rodeo. And that's where a good bestie comes in handy, to say, yes, you have, and I got you. And I'm going to support you, and I'm going to put myself in front of the train for you. I couldn't have asked for better. I couldn't. I am so grateful. But I still have my own autonomy. Does that make sense, guys? I need you to maintain that in whatever connections you're in. Because just because my bestie has to weigh in and she has been given an assignment to do so, doesn't mean that I don't have to make my own decisions within whatever connections that matriculate to me or that I manifested. And guys, we're in a season of manifestation. I haven't been on here and talking, but I've been really guided to get outside to the lakes, to the beaches, to the waters, and you know how I feel about that. So I'll be doing some readings from those places shortly. But we're in a season of manifestation. Whatever you want to be can be. Remember, we're still under the energy of the strawberry harvest moon that started in June. Please do not forget your manifestations. If you want love, it's coming soon. It's here. If you want finances that increase, it's now. It's arrived. It's not soon anymore. We're in the season. Okay? But what I want you to do is when you get the things that you're manifesting, be the person in the trenches with that and make your own decision. And if it's love, only you and that person can decide what the hell it is, what's going on, how it feels, does it fit, is it right for you? Only you two can make that decision. And if other people's energies are involved, now I don't even care if it's not people weighing in, but if we're still lingering and attached to other people, sometimes, guys, people come into our life as vehicles to get us away from situations. And I definitely think that in my case, my bestie was that. Years ago, she came in years before I had to get away from a really toxic situation, and She was such a beautiful vehicle, probably one of the best gifts I've ever had in my life. But also in love relationships, guys, people will come in to get you out. Does it mean you stay with them forever? Does it mean they're your forever after? No, not necessarily, but they will make you feel all of the feels and do all of the things so that you can finally break free. And I'm channeling Freddie Mercury again. I want to break free. I can't sing, y'all, and I'm not going to in this early morning. I'm not going to in this early morning. But what I'm going to tell you is that will happen. And that is a chariot. If you were reading tarot, that's the chariot. Sometimes you just need to have someone that carries you away from toxicity or an entanglement or an attachment that of which you can't get free. Again, devil energy. And it doesn't mean that it's always evil. It just means that maybe you've betrothed yourself to somebody that's no longer reciprocal and is only going to drag you. And God will send you in somebody that will absolutely titillate and light you up just so you can really finally set yourself free. And guess what? Maybe it's the next cup that's incoming that will be your happily ever after. It may not be that immediate person, but you have to really hone your discernments and know who you are and you need to work on your communication. Listen, I'm in this season right now where I am learning about communication in the deepest ways. I have never had more communication and soulmated connections than I have currently, where I'm in a season and I'm in a connection currently where I am having the most intense, in depth conversations I've ever had in my life, and where both of us are looking at the connection that we have and thinking, my God, if I could have had this with whomever I was in love with, right? I could have got the years ago, whenever ago, right? We all have those people that are traumatizing for us, and we both have a similar situation. Clearly, hashtag no coincidences in soulmate assignments. And we're like, this would have been such an easier situation to manage because we would have had a real open communication and connection. And we are being taught in the season to communicate with each other. That doesn't mean that we get to keep each other. What it means is that we both have done a lot of work so that we could ascend and so that we could figure out how to be good friends, but also in the future for people that we would be dealing with in any other capacity, especially for the counterpart, how they could be maybe a good lover or a good partner to somebody else. Sometimes people come in and they are to help. They're helpmates, they're helpers. We have many soulmates in this lifetime. Not all of them are sexual. Not all of them are just platonic. Sometimes there are some blurred lines. Cue Robin Thicke before the controversy. But yeah, blurred lines usually cause controversy. And that's when you want to outsource to maybe a friend and say, okay, do you see what I see? But if your friend is operating out of a level of toxicity, you can't do that, guys. And at the end of the day, you still have to make decisions that feel right for you because you can get either carried away or maybe you're supposed to be. I don't want this to be a confusing download for you, but if you're in a relationship, it should be just you two. Now, when you're getting into it, yeah, you might want somebody to help you vet, but if you have a solidified relationship, don't let anybody be your net beside your partner. Because what will happen is you will create an emotional dependency. I've been working with clients all week regarding emotional affairs, and I'm telling you guys, there is something there, and it can happen, and it will happen. Now, the thing about it is that, yeah, sometimes a good bestie will intercept and be like, "Hey, bestie, I see something going on here. Let's look out." I've done that for people, right? But they didn't want that energy. I've also seen when people have allowed people to interlope in the relationships between me and thee. Does that make sense? And they had no business there. The people had no business there. They had no understanding, and they would never have a relationship like it in their life if they tried. Even if they tried to take the relationship I had, I knew that they were not going to have the same experience. Um, and that's just the truth. People will try to destroy things for you and then walk away like the kid at the playground that kicks over your blocks after they've watched you build your towers for an hour. Yeah? People love that. So you have to be careful. Don't let someone come into your relationship that's just waiting to kick down your tower, waiting to kick down your edifice that you've erected after painstakingly color coding and whatever. Don't let people do that. So you have to have your own discernment. You have to know how you feel. You have to be okay with that. You cannot use people to tell you the answer. you can use people as a buffer. And what I'm so grateful for is my bestie is very mature. So she doesn't infringe in a way. She checks on me. Thank God for her checking on me. And she makes sure I'm okay. She makes sure I'm happy. She makes sure I'm delighted. She is down. I mean, while I say Bonnie and Clyde is toxicity, maybe me and my bestie are more Thelma and Louise. she's with the shits, as the kids say. She's down for the shits, and I'm so grateful in every way and in like a classy way. It's really nice. But um, but she doesn't override me, and she doesn't insist that I have to take whatever advice she's giving, and she doesn't offer it, unless I solicit it, and even then, it's with a disclaimer like, "Bestie, I might not listen to this," right? So I'm very honest, and that's the only thing you can be in relationships, and it's the best way to be. Sometimes when we care about somebody, this is for your soulmate connections now, not just your bestie, but maybe with your besties too. But sometimes when we care about somebody, we'll hold back things that we want to say. If you're in a new connection, now this is specifically for love, don't let any day go by where you don't say how you really feel. If you're triggered, if you're feeling uncomfortable, if you're happy, if you're attracted, if you're Twitter pated, if you have butterflies, um, as a divine feminine, that's something that I was really being called to walk in, is waiting for initiation and masculine energy because of the situation that I was in. And what I want you guys to understand is that everything that you ask for will be given. And so I needed communication and confirmation in a way that um, made me feel validated. And a good bestie is going to keep you on track and say, "What were your goals? Let's remember that." She definitely reminded me of some things that I had said and taught, videos that she had watched, and I'm fortunate. But I still had to do my own work and stand in it. And it means that I couldn't operate out of a different thing because there were lessons in this season that I am to be learning, and they are only learned if I operate exactly how I'm teaching and I'm obedient. So that means that I can't get ahead of myself, and whatever the case may be, I can't control anything, and it is maddening to me. But I walk it like I talk it, and I come here and I share it with you because I want to also help set you free. This is a season of realization of your desires, period, in whatever way. You can have whatever life you want, conventionally or unconventionally. This is a season of accountability to yourself, and this is a season of knowing that you may or may not need help. But I expect the people here listening to have evolved and matured enough to know that you can't let everybody fully in your business. You can't let everybody tell you yes or no. And when it comes down to love, be careful of the outside seeds that you sow or that you allow to sow into you, because they can be divisive weeds that break up you too. So, in conclusion, because I've got to get to coffee with my bestie, I want you to enjoy the love you've manifested if you have. It's delicious, yeah? Sometimes, especially after some of the seasons we've gone through, we thought, this isn't going to happen for me. There's something to be said about delayed gratification and taking things easy. There's something to be said about manifesting connections that are light and breezy and then sometimes complicated and juicy. I like all spectrums of that rainbow for you and for me. But the thing is, you have to know what it is that you see. And if someone's gaslighting you, and if someone is running from their feelings, if you're in new connection, and it makes you want to go to someone who's a secure anchor, like a bestie, a mom, a friend, a sister that you trust, that isn't jealous, that isn't hateful, then do that too if you need to. But also, here's the litmus test, my divine feminines. Can you call them on the carpet, just you, immediately? I say that because I have found myself in that position. Sometimes we'll have things happen where we think, is this my manifestation? Did I pull this in? And when I've been walking through all the lessons, they've been direct parallels, but in a positive way, of triggers from yesterday. What I mean by that is toxic connections, right? But instead, I get to have the positive situation. It's like God said, you passed the test. And just in case you didn't, we're going to test you just again. And yeah, I know, guys, I hate the test in perpetuity, but it happens. And so, oh, Gilly says, I just woke up and I'm doing good. I feel that new love is coming in very shortly. I know it's coming. Amen, Gilly. Claim that. It's arrived, it's arrived, it's arrived. I speak that over you, and so it is. And so, and Gilly, it's no coincidence. You have a channel. You know exactly what I'm saying. We teach from where we're at. For me, I have love, and I have it in a myriad of ways. But I'm definitely having a new experience, and that's unconventional. You guys know my story, and you know my life a little bit. But I'm telling you that when it comes, you got to manage it. And also, it doesn't mean that it's perfect, okay? And that has been not a rude awakening for me. I was ready. Um, but I realized how much I learned in my previous battles where I gave so much of myself away, where I squeezed my eyes shut tight and I didn't pay attention to my intuition at night when my angels and ancestors in my dreams would whisper to me. If I have any weirdness or gaslighty energy, or if I'm like, I don't know what this person's saying or whatever, I'm calling them on it right away. And one of the things that, and it's not been that it has to happen often, and they've called me on things too. Here's a behavior that I see you exhibit. Do you know this is what you do? It makes me feel triggered. Powerful, the most powerful conversations I've ever had in my life. And I think I'm allowed to have that because I've moved into a different stage where I'm not running away, I'm not scared, and I'm not willing to stay in anything, no matter how good it feels, just to have somebody. That's the beautiful thing about having healthy, supportive besties as pillars. I have people that will love me for the rest of my life. I don't need to have a soulmate connection that drags me through trauma and doesn't treat me right anymore. And I value myself. I deserve something I didn't realize that I felt so deeply, and I want you to feel that too. What do you deserve? What's right for you? So yeah, I'm getting to do some of the most intensive and um, frustrating and incredibly delicious work of my life. I didn't ever think I would get here, but I still am having to stand up for myself at times. I'm still having to say I don't like that. I'm still having to say here's where a boundary should be. I'm also learning that maybe I had too many boundaries. Message. When we are hurt the way that we have been collective, we will overcorrect, won't we? In a connection. And I had had to kind of like take a step back and look at myself and say, oh, yeah, that was a lot, wasn't it? Am I pushing away something? And I'll tell you this to wrap this up before I go to Bestie. There's something that she said a few months to me. She said, when love, like Gilly just says, comes in, will you accept it? Will you be so battered and bruised from the last person that misused and took you for granted that you'll push new connection away? It was a random question. It was a powerful question. And it is one that will be posited to you by a good bestie. She is in spiritual alignment with me. She was assigned to me to be the bodyguard from the Ricky Bobbies. When I say she took it seriously, man, did she take it seriously. When she asked me, I brushed it off. I said, I've shut down my heart, bestie. I'm welcoming all, connections. I'm going to talk to the collective. I'm going to work with my clients. I'm going to talk with my people on YouTube. It's all good. But I know that there's nothing coming in for me specifically. Maybe she knew, maybe she didn't. I kind of think she did. And that's why God and her angels put that question on her heart for me so that I could kind of take a look at myself when it did materialize and not sabotage it as quickly and swiftly as I felt instinctively to do out of protection. Protection and your instincts matter, but we are spiritual people, and there is a tapestry and a continual thread of communication that is happening. And the fact that someone that was assigned to me as a person in my life to be careful of me and with me and to make sure that others are too. Something given to me that I've never had in so many years of my life. And she was given. And she asked that question months before I really unfold into a whirlwind of energy. Means that she is here for a reason. And sometimes there'll be people in your life that are there too. It also means that it wasn't something I was supposed to sabotage because, to a degree, I was getting prepared by someone who had my best interest at heart and who valued me. No, you cannot let people into your relationship, but there are people around you in your periphery that can really see. You have to decide how much entrance you allow, and you have to decide if you can stick up for yourself. Did you learn the lessons? Do not let anybody else's energy infiltrate. If I'm supposed to have a soulmate connection and it lasts 6 months, a year, 20 minutes, then I need to live in that in the best way. I'm an I'm an anthropologist regarding human connection, right? Like an unofficial one. It's what I like to say. So I'm studying this connection so that I can teach about it someday. I'm hoping that it's a positive lesson. So far, so good. But even in the moments when I've been triggered, I'm integral to say the truth. I promise I would, and I will. Everything is not perfect, and sure as hell I'm not. Something I am not learning, something I've always known. But it's interesting to have someone who is strong enough to be a mirror to you hold up your own fuckery. I've definitely had that happen recently. Someone said, take a look. I want you to see. Someone who is strong enough, strong like me, stronger than me in some ways, as spiritual as me in some ways, more spiritual than me in some ways. She jokes with me, you're so polished. This is a doctor, okay? So I'm going to talk about this, but um, she's a doctor, and she's a doctor of religion and theology. And she I do not have a doctorate in religion. I have a life PhD, right? Like many of us do. We're armchair PhDs. And this is the person, and she'll joke with me, and she'll be like, "You're so polished." I just say it straight to the point. I'm a little rough around the edges. But my God, the volley back and forth is like otherworldly. It's so incredible. But it also means that I have someone who can actually hold a mirror to me. Um, Sometimes, guys, listen to this. You're slumming, okay? My divine feminines, my divine masculines here, you guys have been bumming. Not right now, but hear me out. Past relationships that maybe you wanted or they wanted you for clout. I don't think you guys realize your brilliance. And I certainly didn't for a long time. And I like hid it and I ran from it. And other people could see it. And narcissists love to see it and they love to try to devalue and tear you down. But what I will tell you is that is that they knew the whole time that you were magical in whatever capacity, right? And I feel like, hey, Jenny, the vine guided me to you now, and here you are. Hey, Jenny, good morning. So glad you joined me. Jenny's from Scandinavia. Say hi. I don't even know what time is it over there, Jenny. Um, so the thing that you need to know is that sometimes you guys were like punching down. You were dating people beneath you or you were emotionally connected. Literally spent my early 20s bumming it. Thank you, Gilly. See? And because Gilly is enlightened. And not just because he says he is, but because he actually is. He's probably giving love to women. I'm getting a channeling Gilly about people that had alcoholic issues, people that were attached to exes, people that were tragic, and you were like trying to save him. Just say yes or no if I'm right, Gilly, right? I don't want to be too much of your business, but I just got a little hit about your life. And so I'm people that wanted to stay connected to abusive exes specifically. Like I'm seeing like physically abusive exes that people wanted to stay connected to and you were trying to intercept it. Sometimes we bump because people don't know their worth, so they'll try to devalue us. And I definitely Gilly's like, yup. Yeah, my angels are nosy, Gilly, sorry. But I definitely much like, oh, hi Jenkins. So nice to see you again, sweetie. Um, um, what I was gonna say is that um, we will bum it, and when I tell you I was slumming it, bumming it, I was a rescuer, that's for sure. Yeah, we usually are as empaths, Gilly, and divine partners. We are. And when I tell you I was bumming it and slumming it with people, and people that were completely beneath me, people I didn't realize how bummy I was. I didn't think I was bummy, but I didn't realize how much I was bumming it until like I had grown up and matured, and it happened in the midst of a relationship, and then I saw who that person was gravitating towards and who they were attracted to, and they were such trash. Basura. I have no problem saying it. I don't care if anybody thinks it's elitist. It's the truth. They were absolutely trashy, horrible people. And what I mean by that is they were the degenerates of life. They were thieves, they were drug addicts, they were, just all of the things. They were scammers, they were cheaters, they were liars, and not just like, I mean, just like avaricious, meaning like greedy. They were all of the worst things that you could be. They were neglectful parents, they were just shit. And I was like, this is your favorite? This is who you love? This is who you are willing to throw away your son's life for, your friend's life for? Like, I just didn't understand it. And I was like, oh, I've been slumming it because I was watching it and I was like, oh, I've been slumming it. Now, here's the thing: you can know that, you can divest, you can move on, all the things I recommend, right? Check, 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 right? We will get it. Mr. Chalk Chalk, when you listen back, you've been slumming it. No offense, homie, I love you, but you're about to ascend and I'm standing with you on that, and so it is. But, and meaning you've been a rescuer, Mr. Chalk Chalk. When you hear this, don't be mad. You can type me in the comments. You better say hi. I love you. But what I'm telling you is we'll do that. And it doesn't mean that like the person looks like a schleb or a slum or a bum, but it means that their energy resonates with bummy, okay? Bumminess. And so here's what I'm going to tell you about this. I separated, and that's the test. God's like, okay, well, do you understand your worth now? Yeah, I do. I totally get it. I'm not supposed to be with these people. We are so completely incompatible. What's so funny is and I'm going to tell you this just as because it's kind of like a funny full circle moment. Donuts. It's a full circle moment. My ex, the people that I spent a lot of time with, other exes that I bummed with, one of them in particular used to, she worked in a medical place, and she was like, I am going to bag a doctor. Like, she would fantasize that one of the doctors was going to end up being her partner. Now, she was not an energetic match for any of them because she is not, let's say, she wouldn't be a good military wife or a good wife, period. But what I mean by that is like, um, the fidelity and the connection and the whatever, all the things that it takes to be somebody's wife that has that kind of job and gruelingness, because she was easily bored and she didn't have attention. She was like, anyway, so but that was like her great fantasy, was like, I'm gonna bag a doctor, I'm gonna end up with a doctor, or whatever the case may be. And she would like entertain all these dalliances and flirtations in her head about what would never be, because none of them would ever take her seriously, because she didn't take herself seriously. It wasn't about that she couldn't be taken seriously, guys. So hear the message: we all at any moment can change our realities, right? So you can be someone that didn't take yourself seriously, and then you do, and then other people will too. So when I tell you that one of my new soulmate connections is doctor, it was not lost on me. My angels were like, and this is also another aside: when people wish bad on you and they want to see you fail and they want to see things crumble around you, what happens is if they were really out of pocket, your ancestors and angels get involved and they lock in your blessings, but they literally siphon it from their list of wishes and desires. And so it's a lesson for them. So I've made videos about this before. I'll see if I can find it. But you get everything that they ever wanted. Now, I didn't want that, didn't care about it, could have cared less. I am not that way. She was very about appearances and all that stuff and money. Could have cared less. Always knew I was going to make my own. Didn't depend on anybody. Wasn't on a get rich scheme. She was. But and that's why she probably wanted that. She didn't want to be a doctor's wife. She wanted the affluence and what came along with it. She could have given a freak about actually having to plug in to be a good human to manage it and be a supportive partner. She has no idea what that is. But the interesting thing is, I find myself in the company that she always dreamt to keep. So if you think that when people try you, that you do not have a say so and that your ancestors don't have a sense of humor, they do. It's so funny to me. Never sought it out, didn't want it, could have cared less. When you have chemistry with somebody, you just do. Whether it's a soulmate that's platonic or otherwise, chemistry is chemistry, and they pass the test. I couldn't make it up and actually pushed it away, and y'all, stories for days when it's all when I can fully explain. But what I'm going to tell you is that it did not miss me, that I got exactly what she wanted, actually, completely, and better, really. Um, with opportunity for growth and other connections. And it's funny, I found myself surrounded by doctors. And that's not to say anything about doctors. I could have cared less about that. And literally everybody in my life is a doctor now, from my nieces to my cousins to to people that are just friends to their daughters to their best friends to this person and more. It's insane. So if you I just that's a little message for people that are like, but they tried me and whatever. If you're really doing the spiritual battle, you get everything they wanted. I have things manifest in my life all the time that I'm like, I didn't even really ask for this. Where did this come from? And my angels will tap me on the shoulder like a few days later or a few weeks later, and they'll be like, oh, that's something from her wish list. She was so egregious to you that we just decided to give you gifts. And her ancestors sent over this too, meaning sometimes I've gotten direct messages from her mom that is like, we're so sorry for what you went through. Please have this. It's so funny to me. If it didn't happen to me, I wouldn't believe it. You can't make this shit up. The energy, the things that have happened to me that I can't even share sometimes. I'm like, wow, this is the fullest of cups. But it's because someone wished for my cup to be empty and they did it maliciously, and I was assigned to them as an earth angel and an empath, like many of you have been to people, and they took it for granted. So specifically, if it was a connection where you really love somebody and they were terrible to you, think about the things they wanted. I didn't purposely manifest them. Could have, when I tell you I could care less, I've always known. I've always been self-sufficient. I have never been a gold digger. I'm not a person that depends on anybody. Never have. Got it out of the mud completely, completely and totally. I am proud of me. I want you to be proud of you too. But that was not that person's energy. She was like, who's got the next thing? Gold dig. This is this person's house. This is their car. That's how she dated. I couldn't care less. I'm a sapiosexual. What are we talking about? How do you make me feel juicy in my brain? I don't care about what you drive. I'll buy what I want to drive. I don't need you to do that for me. But it is not lost on me that I'm now living in her dreamt and hoped for reality. Funny thing, when you are not good to people, the universe really does step in. So, and I don't, and the funny thing is, why did that happen for me? And it's not about the affluence of that. It's because I didn't care. Because when you actually are operating out of humility, the things that you don't even think you need will show up there for you. So whatever it is for you guys, then manifest that and know it will come true. Okay? So anyway, what I was saying before all of that was having someone show a mirror to me. And it's someone, oh, Bummy. Guys, I got off track. This is what you need to know about the Bummy thing. So when I'm having this conversation with this person who is of caliber with me, and that's not me being like, I'm Dr. Monette, I am not. But I will tell you, I got it. It was a full circle donuts moment for me. I was like, oh, I was totally slumming it. And then when I started to believe I deserved better, people started gravitating to me. My clientele level shifted, my tax bracket shifted, my energy shifted, my body shifted, my hair got better, my teeth got whiter. Something happens when you are in alignment with people that are your resonant energy. When you are trying to be a rescuer and save the bummy, then that too shall you also be, because we are like the five people we spend the most time around. It is easy to see. And when I shifted, I only deal with people that are like minded, that are like me. That doesn't mean that I don't have other people that aren't exactly right, because we can't just live in a thought bubble of just whatever our confirmation bias is. But I'm telling you, the friends in my life, the business women, I can't even believe the people that I'm in contact with. And it shifted when I was like, goodbye, bum. Stay there. Have your bitch fit. I'm going to start a bitch fire. I'm going to burn the whole shit down. And I'm going to get the desires of my heart with no bums around. And so it is. So I just want you guys to know that is also your gift. It's innate. You can have the same thing. I want you to be great. And let me speak it over you. You are great. You do not break, you bend. You are bamboo in the wind, able to make a cacophony and beautiful noise, but also to never be destroyed. Bamboo is resilient. We are bamboo, my loves. And you bamboos do not hang with bums. Bamboos gather together, ever so tall, stretching and stretching to the sun. They're with their own kind. They are in their own tribe. They are not laying on the ground, they are anchored. But the dirt is not where they reside. They also get to kiss the sky. They get to sway in the wind. They get to make love to the sun again and again. We are bamboo. Leave the bums under your shoe. Ascend and watch the magic that your earth angels, ancestors, actual angels, God of wonders, above all majesty will do. You deserve the best, whatever the best is for you. And if someone was hating on you, I promise you this. I might have to make a separate message on camera because I feel so strongly about that. You'll get all of their shit. Everything that they were wishing you didn't have, everything they actually wanted. Like I said, the manifestations that have showed up in my life have been funny to me because I'm like, I didn't ask for this. Like, how did I didn't I manifested that over there, but I didn't manifest this here. And I literally have gotten messages that have been like, yeah, this is special delivery. Oh, that's what the message is going to be named. I love it when they come through. Thank you, angels. Special delivery. And I will make a message just for my collective with directions on how to make sure that you are getting your inheritance and you are getting your compensation for pain and suffering. That's exactly what it is. It made no sense to me. Why do I get all of this? Well, they said, because we love you, but also because someone was so maliciously working against you, so duplicitous, so dishonest, so with time wasting that we had to do what the Bible says we will do, which is this: God will restore the years that the locusts have eaten. Now, that's a scripture I've always talked about. It's one I've taught on, thought about, known, but I didn't understand how descriptive it is regarding your love, your new opportunities, and your finances. It's not just the years the locusts have eaten from you. If someone was wishing that the locusts eat your crop, if someone was wishing death, pestilence, and destruction on you, then that's what they will reap. That's why all these people that do spell work and they're so enamored with that don't understand the seeds that they're sowing. It always comes back to you. You will be the one that ends up not growing. Eventually, return to senders on a thing that you have to do. The universe is the balancer of those things. It is true. Do not dabble in that because when you do, even if you're wishing someone unwell, it will come back to you, pressed down, shaken over, multiplied, and it will be a hornet's nest on you that you can't spray away with fire. You will have to deal with it. It will devour you. Not to be all like brimstone and ashes here. This is not for my collective. Those is for the people that wish you unwell. So you get all of their stuff because it has to go somewhere. Some of those people were due for blessings. Some of those people, if they would have been somewhat obedient, would have not had to learn such harsh lessons and they were going to get things that they wanted. They may have even began to manifest some of the things that they wanted. And as soon as they started to award with my divine feminine and masculine collective, then all of their growth was stunted. But those blessings and energies have to go somewhere. I think it's going to be a fun game to play. The message will be called Special Delivery, and I will make it in the next few days. I want you to have a fun time taking a look to see what your enemy wanted and what magical things in your life shall be. It's kind of fun. It's kind of funny. For me, like I said, doctors, who knew? And for you, maybe it's something else, something borrowed, something blue, something that makes you happy too. You deserve the best, my loves. Also, and lastly, I'll recap: keep people out of your shit. Yes, you can have some strong energies that can weigh in on it if they're a sign, but you have to know that with good discernment. I have vetted my bestie. She is tested and proven, and she is not wishy washy, and she is not interfering. She didn't interfere even in my exit of the X. She could have said a lot of stuff. She didn't. She held back, and she was classy AF. And that's how I know she's a worthy connection for me to chat with. Does that make sense? She could have taken low hanging fruit. She could have done what we all like to do. And guess what? She didn't. She never did it. She was like, I got you, boo. Exactly that. And she did. She didn't play in. She wasn't malicious. She wasn't gossipy. She was grown and sexy. Y'all know how I feel about it. She was grown. There was no shenanigans with me. She wasn't like you're talking too much about it. She wasn't like you're not talking enough about it. She wasn't like she's a bitch. I hope she dies. None of that. Even if I was there, she was like, nope. You guys will repair, or she'll heal, or you'll learn the lessons, or you move on. It was the best mom advice I've ever gotten in my life. She loved me completely and thoroughly, and she didn't pull any punches with me, but she also wasn't petty. That's how you can know, and with a healthy level of discernment, if someone is a good person to vet regarding communication about whatever you need in a new relationship. But at the end of the day, and at the end of the night, and at the beginning of the sunrise, it comes down to you. It's just you two. Long term established relationship, keep people out of it. Unless you are venting and whatever, and then make sure it's a good source. And if it's a new thing, sometimes you might need a little eye on it, right? Because we can get a little carried away. God knows I can and have. So, what I will tell you is make sure, though, that the person actually has your back and that they are not there to distract you from a work that you are meant to do. The work that I'm doing right now, I was destined to do. It was meant for me to do in order to heal. One of the greatest little blurbs I've heard recently was from Teal Swan. She says, "We," and I think I put this on my community page, "we heal." Um, when we are broken in a relationship, the only way to really heal is relationally. Everybody says, no, cauterize yourself, be single, be independent, be free, never ever let anybody touch you or hurt you again. And to a degree, we will go into hermit mode and do that, my friends. But when we actually have done the work ourselves and we've passed the test, guess what happens? God will bring somebody else in, your angels, your ancestors, your guides, your tribes, whatever you want to call them, will bring somebody else in, and guess what will happen? They will be there to help you actually heal the parts that were broken in other places. This is not trauma bonding. This is not codependency. This is not any of that stuff. What this is someone showing you with a mirror the yuck or the yum, the fun or the bad, the good or the happy, the angry or the sad, and they're helping you process it in a healthy way instead of one that was rife with toxicity, one that was rife with yeah, one that was rife with toxicity, or one that was rife with mind games or manipulation or whatever. So please know that that is exactly the place that your angels are taking you to. It's heart repair. It's getting your strength back. I'm drawing to some cards here. The Ace of Pentacles, the Ten of Cups, Wheel of Fortune, the Tower, the Four of Swords, the Ace of Cups again, the Page of Wands, and the Strength card standing for Leo. Let's talk about that real quick. I wasn't going to pull any cards, but I guess my angels wanted me to. So let's talk about exactly what this means. And there's one more, the six or the Seven of Cups. Choices are yours. You have options. So let's talk about that. With the Ace of Pentacles here, let's start it in order here. After a tower moment, you needed some rest. Communication came in from your angels. You started to heal yourself. Now they're bringing you into a stable relationship, love relationship. Ten of Pentacles to the, Ten of Pentacles. Well, I guess that too. That was Freudian, but the Ten of Cups to the Ace of Pentacles. The Wheel of Fortune, this is a good change in luck for you. You've rebalanced yourself. You have choices, divine feminine and masculine. Yes, Gilly, love is here. It's in now. Ace of Cups, that's a promise. And the Strength card, you have found yourself. Take a bow. Your dark night is over. Somehow you made it through. And my God, divine feminines and masculines, I'm so bloody proud of you. All right, let's see. Gisela says, good morning, everyone. Jenny says, I'm so double with my new person. I feel guilty. I feel guilty in so how. In one way, I feel at ease. It feels so nice. Her, then I see different sense the universe give me, but Gisela says, good afternoon. This is, for me, a friendship. I don't know what love is anymore. I am gray. I agree with you, Monette. Her, I just want to trust warranty people. It's just me and divine. I have to be patient. Many thanks. Jenny is from Scandinavia, so if I ever see anybody in the comments talking about her grammar, I'm personally gonna block you. So what's happening is Jenny, this is a second language for her, and God bless her, she did fantastic, and I mean that. The old teacher in me will get you the fuck out of here. So respect Jenny. Not that I feel, I don't know why I feel like to say that. So I don't care who is reading this later or watching this back later. Jenny is international. I love to see it. Jenny, someday I'm gonna come see you, boo. Okay, I'm a traveler, babe. I'm a traveler, and I'm definitely gonna come see you someday. We're gonna meet up. I just have a feeling, my love. But anyway, I do not I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Y'all be very supportive and nice. So I understand what you said there, Jenny. So let me say this. She's saying that she has a new friend and it feels so nice. Jenny, can I tell you how much I relate? I feel the same way. I just said that the other day. I literally just said that the other day. I was like, I was trying to, sometimes you'll like push things away and you'll be like, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know. And then I had to just break down with the person because they challenged me in the best, most amazing ways. And they like challenged me to be honest and vulnerable. And I was like, yeah, yeah, I agree with you, Jenny. So nice is exactly it. It's nice to be heard. It's nice to be seen. It's nice to be leveled with. It's also nice to have someone get you and understand you. It's also nice for to have someone connect with you. It's also nice to have someone seek you out, to worry about you, to care. All the things. Yeah, it's so I see it, Jenny. It's so nice. I haven't felt so nice. I made a video a while ago, when I was in California for the longest time. I haven't been here in the longest time. Can't sing it all. Oh, 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 for the longest time. And I make videos, right, guys? And I get channels, and I'm like, this is not about me, but turns out it is, even if it's just platonic, like you said, yours is just a friend, right? No matter what it is, even with my bestie, I felt that too. Like, wow, this is so nice because I have a real friend. And I've been here in the longest time. I don't know if I've ever had a friend like she is, so I don't even know if I have a frame of reference for that. But what I will say is this: when I say haven't been here for the longest time, I mean that so completely, and it's something that's so nice to have, isn't it, Jenny? It's so nice. So it's scary though too, because in my past wounding, as much as I've healed and as much as the caliber of people has gone all the way up, I definitely worry about someone else filling my cup and is it safe and all those things. So it's no coincidence that I jumped on here with you and then I'm super late to coffee with my bestie. She's gonna kill me. Maybe she's listening. But it's no coincidence that um that I'm here having this experience with you because I get it. I know exactly what it is to feel um conflicted about the brilliance of a new connection, friendship, relationship, whatever. I get it. But I don't think it's a coincidence, Jenny, because you've been here for a long time that you're like, I found someone new. Because for a while you were isolated and by yourself too, right? Just like me. We went through hermit mode together, actually, and we're out of it completely. And there is no going back. So, yes, Jenny, some days it's going to be scary. I stand with you in solidarity. Some days it's going to be exciting, exhilarating, and thrilling. I can't wait for more of those. They've already begun. But that's why I'm going to be here. And hopefully, we're going to try to keep this up and up. And all of us having this experience of manifested love, new connections, new tribe mates, new soulmates can all have a little fun. Hi, Momo's Happy Place. She's a new tribe mate and a good soul too, as are so many of you. All right, guys, I love you so much. I am going to get going here and get to that coffee. Come back and join me next time, and we will continue to evolve together.